Dear students, today you are joining with CS Sri Lanka Transformation Program BL5 Audit, Business Process and Digitalization subject. Actually, we are today going to conduct the last session, that's about ethics and values. So then as an auditor, as an accountant, how we can comply with these ethics and values, how important that is. CS Sri Lanka Transformation Program එකේ යටතේ අපි මේ lecture series එකක් කරලා the final session එක discuss කරන්න තමයි හදන්නේ. ඒකෙදි අපි plan කරලා තියෙන්නේ ethics and values ගැන discuss කරන්න. එතකොට ethics and values කොහොමද auditor කෙනෙක් විදියට අපි මේක practice කරන්නේ, කොහොමද accountant කෙනෙක් විදියට මේක අපි comply වෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි මෙතෙන්දී කතා කරන්න expect කරනවා. Right. So then here we are in the last session. We have already discussed about our overall audit process, audit quality, how we are going to do audits in digital environment, all those things we have done. So then basically once we are doing these steps as auditor, as an accountant, how we can comply with this ethics and values, right? So that's the doubt, and you can clear this doubt after this session. Under ethics and values, as accountant, as a practitioner, how we can ethical. So once we are discussing about ethical aspects and values, we have these laws and regulations and ethical codes and morality and moral codes. So as an auditor, as an accountant, we need to comply with some of the laws and regulations, right? So then that's a must. So then government or whatever the institution in the country or global regulations, there may be laws and regulations. Standards are kind of a regulation, right? So then we have to comply with laws and regulations, right? And then ethical codes are there. Some of the requirements are there, ethical standards are there, but that standards clearly says as an accountant, as auditor, we need to comply with laws and regulations, right? So then how independent we are. So then for those things we have ethical codes. Ethical codes actually is not a regulation, but it's a code we need to comply with, right? So then according to the relevant governing body, so then according to the given code of ethics, as a practitioner, as accountant, we need to comply with the given code of ethics, right? And then moral codes කියන්නේ අපිට requirement එකක් නැහැ, අපිට normal personal behavior එක, අපි ඒක loyalty එක, එතකොට අපි accountant කෙනෙක් විදියට අපි මේ වගේ කියන්නේ අපේ ඒකේ intent එක, අපි කොහොමද market එකේ, අපි කොහොමද society එකේ, economy එකේ, that's a purely the behavior. So then if there's a good practices, are we going to do that? So then that's all about morality, right? So then as a whole, as accountant or auditor, how we need to comply with this laws and regulations and ethical codes and moral codes. That's all about ethics and values, right? So then once you are considering all these aspects, ethical codes are really important, because laws and regulations, we have many laws and regulations, right? It may be Company Act, it may be some other general rules, listing rules, Security Exchange Commission regulations, accounting standard, auditing standards. We have many standards, laws and regulations. So then it's a must, we need to comply with that. And then especially here we are going to discuss about ethical codes. So under ethical codes, actually in Sri Lankan context, we have a code of ethics published by Sri Lanka. So then under moral codes, actually we don't have separate specific moral codes. As accountant, as a practitioner, we need to comply with whatever the moral codes in the moral definitions and practices in the particular industry or particular sector, right. So then we can go forward and we can go through latest Code of Ethics 2023 Code of Ethics, which was established, which was distributed by Sri Lanka. Actually it's a kind of a conceptual framework which includes basic fundamental principles about independence and whatever the threats relating to the independence, all those things will be discussed under Code of Ethics 2023. So then this is the core concept here we are going to discuss. As an auditor, as an accountant, how we can comply with this Code of Ethics. එතකොට අපිට Chartered Institute එකේ website එකට ගියා නම් Code of Ethics latest version එක වලට බලන්න පුළුවන්, refer කරන්න පුළුවන්. So after having this understanding, my recommendation is you better go and go through this Code of Ethics full content, right. Here I am going to do kind of a summary about this, right. So under Code of Ethics, mainly we are discussing about fundamental principles of professional ethics. Fundamental principles. Fundamental principles, we are having 5 principles. So that relates independence, As you all know that for audit services, the practitioner auditor should be a independent person. So as you have already discussed, audit engagement, assurance engagement is a tri-party engagement. We have practitioner and then the management and the stakeholders. To deliver audit opinion for the audit financial statement which was prepared by the management to the stakeholders, we need to be independent from the company, from the management. So what are the principles which impact to independence? What are the threats which impact to this independence will be discussed, will be discussed in detail here, right. එතකොට අපි auditor කෙනෙක් විදියට කොහොමද independent වෙන්නේ, කොහොමද අපි මේ Code of Ethics එක comply වෙන්නේ කියන එක principles, each and every principles කොහොමද අපි go through කරන්න කියන එක මෙතෙන්දී discuss කරනවා, right. So then we can go forward. Here we have relevant principles. First is integrity, right. So as a accountant, how we can manage our integrity by maintaining our professional behavior with the management, with the company. How can be professional? So then without having this professionalism, how we can deliver our service? So it should be an independent service. To give an independent service, we need to maintain our integrity. Integrity කියන එක practitioner කෙනෙක්, auditor කෙනෙක් විදියට really important aspect එකක්. මොකද අපි integrity එකක් නැත්නම් අපිට professional integrity එකක් නැත්නම් professional integrity එකක් තියෙන business අපිට relationship එකක් නැත්නම් අපිට අපේ service එක deliver කරන්න බැරි වෙනවා. So then first one is the integrity and then objectivity. So then as auditor, what's your object? So to deliver a independent audit opinion, right. So then according to the professional Code of Ethics requirements and standards, so then we need to deliver our outcome, we need to issue the audit opinion. So then that should be a fair audit opinion, right. Audit risk should be reduced to acceptable low level. and then you need to get the unfair, unbiased judgment, right? Your conclusion should be accurate. So then you need to comply with objectivity, you need to save your objectivity. So your interest can't be conflict with other interest. Your interest is for what? To deliver a proper audit opinion. So then you can't deviate from that, right? So then you can't override that. So for that you should have proper objectivity. To achieve that, you have to maintain your independence, right? So then objectivity is a crucial principle we need to comply with. So then we can move forward. Professional competency and due care. So what it means to you? Professional competency and due care. So then to accept the audit engagement, your skill level, competence level should be matched with the requirement given by the management, right? We can go to professional competence and due care. Professional competence, as a professional accountant, professional auditor, so then competency, skill level should be up to date, right? So then the knowledge you have, the latest knowledge, technological competency, then the latest standards, there's a regulation should be with you as a auditor or accountant, right? So then we need to comply with this principle. Once you are performing your task, your engagement, you have to comply with that, because otherwise you can't deliver the proper outcome. එතකොට ඔයාට competency එක නැත්නම් ඔයා engagement එකක් accept කරද්දී professional competency එක නැත්නම් professional competency කියලා ගත්තම අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන් professional knowledge skill to deliver the required service, right? To deliver the required service we need to have proper competence. ඔයා banking sector එකේ audit එකක්ද කරන්නේ, ඒ audit එක insurance sector එකේද, hotel sector එකේද, එතකොට ඔයා දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන ඒ related regulations, right? ඔයාට experience එක තියෙන්න ඕන, ඔයාට competency එක තියෙන්න ඕන. දැන් bank එකක් audit කරනවා නම් ඔයාට හොඳ IT knowledge එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන. නැත්නම් IT knowledge එකක් නැත්නම් ඔයාට IT knowledge එකක් තියෙන independent parties වල support එක ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. So then otherwise you can't deliver a quality outcome because you don't have the competency, right, to deliver the service. To maintain a good professional standard, you need to comply with this principle, right? So then you need to update the applicable technical and professional standards, right, to deliver the professional service. So then you have to deliver your service with a due care. To deliver that due care, you have to maintain, you have to provide competent professional service, and then you need to maintain your professional competency. Maintain professional competency mean what? Maintaining professional competency or trainings වලට participate වෙන්න ඕන. දැන් chartered accountant කෙනෙක් විදියට අපි CPD hours, continuous professional development hours වලට අපි participate වෙන hours cover කරන්න ඕන. එතකොට hours cover කරන්න නම් cover කරනවා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? අපි continuously knowledge එක update කරගන්න ඕන. අපිට chartered accountant කෙනෙක් වුණා විතරක් මදි. මොකද chartered accountant කෙනෙක් වෙන එක අපි කියන්න පුළුවන් lazy කියලා. ඒකත් අමාරුයි. But to becoming a chartered accountant is a tough task. To maintaining that quality is another challenge. එතකොට competency එක maintain කරන්න ඕන. Maintenance of the professional competency. To act diligently and then to act with due care. focus එක තියෙන්න ඕන professionalism එකට. කොහොමද DUKR එකකින් අපිට service එකක් දෙන්නේ. So then how you are going to maintaining your knowledge and your technical skills. So then that's a responsibility of a professional accountant, professional auditor. So then that's all about professional competence and the DUKR, right? So then that will directly impact to your output. Output may be your financial statement, your audit report, whatever the other reports, right? So then that will be impacted your skills and knowledge. That skills and knowledge should be up to dated, right? Because you know අපිට latest standard එකක් issue වුණා නම් දැන් අපිට IFRS 17 insurance contracts related standard එකක් already globally adopt කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉස්සරහදී 2026 වලදී IFRS 17 implement කරනවා local context එකේ. එතකොට already available standard එකක් තියෙනවා IFRS 4 insurance contract. එතකොට අපි අලුත් standard එක ආවම අලුත් standard එක දන්නේ නැහැ කියන්න බෑ. So that's all about maintenance of professional competence, skill, knowledge, right? So what are the sources you can get? So then whatever the latest training you can, you know, have kind of a proper communication with the institute, and you can participate for some of the latest forums. Those are the many sources are there. You can refer some of the latest websites. So then you need to identify exact source or outdated source එකක් නම් බලන්න. දැන් ඔයා standard එකක් Google search කරලා නම් බලන්න. ඔයා Google search කරලා බලනකොට පරණ standard එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට standard එකේ latest version එක කොහොමද බලා ගන්න ඕන? ඔයා Chartered Institute එකේ website එකට ගිහිල්ලා accounting standard එකක්ද, auditing standard එකක්ද, latest version එකද කියලා ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න ඕන. නැත්නම් ඔයාට අපි code of ethics ගත්තත් outdated standard එකක් තමයි හම්බ වෙන්නේ. අපි කතා කරා best practices for corporate governance. ඒකෙත් latest version එක ගන්න නේද? auditing standards වල, accounting standards වල latest version එක තමයි ගන්න ඕනේ. මේ code of ethics, best practices, auditing standard, accounting standards continuously update වෙනවා. revised version එනවා. So then you have to up to date with the latest standards to deliver the quality outcome. So that's all about professional competency and due care. That's the basic principles under code of ethics, right? So then we can go forward. So we are moving to principle number 4, confidentiality. So that's a very latest, the time appropriate topic. Here we are discussing about data security and information security and information leakage and hacking situations. So then confidentiality කියන එක auditor කෙනෙක් විදියට, accountant කෙනෙක් විදියට කොහොමද අපි ensure කරන්නේ? කොහොමද අපි ඒක අපි professionalism එකට add කරගන්නේ කියන එක තමයි මෙතෙන්දී අපි බලන්නේ. මොකක්ද අපි confidentiality කියන්නේ? අපි accountant කෙනෙක්, auditor කෙනෙක් විදියට we are dealing with sensitive information in an organization. What are the sensitive information? So that depends on the organization, right? If it is a manufacturing company, the recipe and then whatever the ingredients we are using for that item, right? That may be kind of a food or something else, or some kind of a fragrant or different outcome, right? For that outcome, it's a unique outcome. So then to get that competitive advantage, it should be very unique. That unique features, unique content is a very sensitive information, and as a servicing company, the customer base is a sensitive information, right? So then as a company, we may have different sensitive information, right? So then as accountant, as a employee, as a auditor, we need to save that confidentiality according to the available rules and regulations, right? So then api recently අහලා තියෙනවා. Some of the information we can't, they are using for their personal interest. That has been, that's kind of a, that's impact to the professional behavior, right? So as an auditor, as accountant, whatever the sensitive information we can't use for our self interest, so then we can use that for only the particular purpose. Whatever the responsibility given to us, we have to use that information to deliver the outcome for that responsibility only. We can't use that for personal benefit, right? So then that's all about confidentiality. Here we have that definition, right? Confidential information acquired as a result of professional and business relationship, and therefore not disclose any such information to third parties without proper specific authority. Without having specific authority, we can't share that information with other outside parties. So once we are discussing about the information, right? So then you are dealing with sensitive information. As organization, as a management, we have to implement preventive controls to save our information. So under that, there are many restrictions in organization about information, right? So then as a management, they are taking responsibility about management of information, sensitive information. So according to corporate governance rules and regulations, we are having information security separate officer in a listed entities, right? So then he should directly report to the board of management. So then according to his duty, according to the management responsibility, they are taking many steps. ඒක නිසා තමයි ඔයාට company එකේ සමහර වෙලාවට pen drive access නැහැ. ඔයාට Gmail, Yahoo mail වලට යන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. personal mail එකට access නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. office mail එකෙන් සමහර විට ඔයාට personal mail එකට share කරන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So then there are many restrictions to save confidentiality. ඒ මොන preventive control දැම්මත් as a person confidentiality save කරන්න නැත්තම්, so then you are doing a kind of a activity for your self interest. So then that will impact to your independence, right? So then as a professional accountant, you have to save the confidentiality of information relating to that organization. එතකොට auditor කෙනෙක් විදිහට හම්බෙන information or audit planning stage එකේදී, execution stage එකේදී, conclusion stage එකේදී ඔයාට ගොඩක් information හම්බ වෙනවා, right? එතකොට company එකේ directors ලා ගැන information, related party information, related party කොහොමද capture කරන්නේ, එයාලගේ ID numbers මොනවද, so that you are having all those information. Customer portfolio එක මොනවද, ඔයාලගේ top priority customers ලා කවුද, so then all those information are with you, right? So then as auditor, we need to save the confidentiality of those information, right? So then that's all about professional behavior, right? Some of the instance අපිට confidentiality තිබුණත් exceptional situation තියෙනවා, specific scenarios තියෙනවා. confidential information එකක් වුණත් අපිට share කරන්න requirement එකක් තියෙනවා නම් අපිට share කරන්න වෙනවා. ඒ මොනවද? අපිට code of ethics වල clearly කියනවා. So then according to the laws and regulations, is a duty to share that information with that party. If it is so, we need to share that. අපිට අපි audit එක complete කරනවා. අපි audit එක complete කරලා අපි audit එක file review එකක් එන්න කියනවා monitoring board එක. එතකොට monitoring board එකට මේ company එක ගැන information share කරලා audit file එක පෙන්නන එක is our duty. It's a legal requirement in the country. accountant ලගෙනුත් ඒක ස්පෙෂල් බිස්නස් එන්ටිටි එකක් නම් එයාලා ෆයිනෑන්ෂියල් ස්ටේට්මන්ට් ප්‍රොවයිඩ් කරන්න ඕන ඔඩිටඩ් ෆයිනෑන්ෂියල් ස්ටේට්මන්ට් මොනිටරින් බෝඩ් එකට. එතකොට මොනිටරින් බෝඩ් එකට රයිට් එකක් තියෙනවා ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් ඉල්ලන්න. So then if there's a legal requirement, we need to disclose, we need to share that information with that particular party. අපි audit එකක් ඉවර කරනවා. ඒක government related entity එකක්. FCID එකෙන් අපිට audit file එක challenge කරනවා. එතකොට අපි audit file එකේ information එයාලත් එක්ක share කරගන්න requirement එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? So then we can share those informations with particular parties. ඒක law එකෙන් requirement එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඊට පස්සේ අපිට client authority එක දෙනවා share කරන්න. bank එකක් එක්ක share කරන්න. තව competition එකකට information යවන්න. අපි client authority එක දෙනවා නම් so then from client authority, with the client authority, that authority should be given by the appropriate level. It may be board approval or whatever the CEO approval, that should be taken, and then you can share that evidence, that information with third parties. Professional right එකක් duty එකක් තියෙනවා. As a chartered accountant, professionally අපි responsibility එකක් තියෙනවා මේ information share කරන්න. එතකොට ඒ වගේ scenario එකකද නම් හරියට අපි requirement එක go through කරලා අපි ඒක share කරන්න අවශ්‍යද කියන එක evaluate කරලා we need to share that. We need to ensure the confidentiality of the information in an organization as an accountant or as an auditor, right? Basically, those information can't be used for self-interest. That should be used for whatever the responsibility given to you as a profession, right? So that's the basic understanding. එතකොට අපිට auditor කෙනෙක් හරි accountant කෙනෙක් හරි අපිට responsibility එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒ responsibility එකට deliver කරන්න තියෙන outcome එකට විතරයි ඒ information use කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. හැබැයි අපිට exceptional scenarios තියෙනවා. ඒ exception එකක් carefully බලලා ඒක with proper approval වාට share කරන්න පුළුවන්. Otherwise you can't share that, right?